Welcome. Team Wilpers Holiday Run Challenge crew. This is our last and final athlete briefing of 2025. Crazy. And the last athlete briefing for the Holiday Challenge. I just want to check in with you on a couple things and we'll get into it. So, hopefully, everyone has enjoyed their holiday season so far. Whatever holiday you celebrate from Team Wilpers and myself, we hope you've had an enjoyable time and it's been filled with family fun and some training. Okay. The whole plan for the holiday challenge was really help people navigate, all the responsibilities that kind of come out around the holiday season. And we were focused on being precise, intent, without a lot of fluff. All right. So for our default and easy categories settings, that was 30 minutes. And for the difficult setting, was 45 minutes during the week. And then on the weekends was a little bit longer. But a couple things before we get into the year in review really is we wanted to talk about Club Wilpers. All right. And so Club Wilpers is a new thing that we're introducing and we're really excited about it. Club Wilpers is going to be group coaching for both cycling and running. And they're really geared towards a certain activity or event. The run challenge right now is focused around the New York City half marathon. So that's March, I believe it's March 16th. But there's a lot of half marathons that go on around that time. So if you're not doing the New York City half, but you're doing something around there, here's an opportunity to get more than just these athlete briefings, more than a static plan. Really, it's coaching in a video format. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have a weekly call where we'll talk about the training to come in a small group setting, and we can really make it connect with you in your week. All right. And how to make adjustments and whatnot. And we do it on the platform Training Peaks, which, the sessions will load onto your watch and help coach you on the treadmill. That could be, it's not as precise, but it really kind of shows you what we do in one-on-one coaching. And whereas, one-on-one coaching is the next level where we make it really particular to you and our personal coaches at Team Wilpers, which we have a bunch of phenomenal ones, really make that, help you facilitate the success towards your goals, right? And Club Wilpers is going to be doing that just with a specific event. So it's 10 weeks and it's really priced well right now. So go check that out on our website. All right. The other thing is I kind of mentioned it, but to all access. All right. So all access, for $10 a month, $9.95, you get access to strength that's paired with the challenges, other strength programs, other training programs. You get to modulate the difficulty. So I mentioned, there's a default version, but if you want it a little bit easier and it's set up currently with walk jog, or a little bit more difficult and challenging, that's part of all access and a lot more. There's a bunch of training plans and different stuff, if you're training for a marathon, and they've been really successful with that. Okay. So year in review. And before I get there though, let's talk about, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So Team Wilpers on Facebook and Instagram, J Harris Coaching on Facebook and Instagram. For the run challenge, that's the Team Wilpers running page. Jump in. It's private. I'll accept you in. All right. And there's a 12,000 person community. People are highlighting their wins, questions, curiosities, concerns, or things they're struggling with. And maybe you struggled with it too. So it's a real sense of community there. That's fantastic. And it's something that makes us a little bit different than, or a lot different than just a static plan. Right. And then we have whoever's running the challenge or myself jumping in there to talk about, answer questions and help you navigate it. Okay. So year in review. All right. So 2025, we ran through multiple challenges, and really the theme is always to train smart. It's one of Matt's mottos, and any coach worth their salt is really focused on making sure that you're not just doing things to get more tired. That's a concept that is we really focus on without saying it. But in my personal opinion, kind of anyone can make one tired. And this is what really separates Team Wilpers coaches from other coaches, is we have a lot of experience, doing it ourselves, making mistakes, and then coaching people through those things as well. So we can help you navigate those things. And for the challenges, we try to, dissolve the basics down from our one-on-one coaching and into the what we're doing for the team, uh, the run challenges here. And new to this year was the majors, right? So if you did all the challenges and you checked them off, you had access to our Team Wilpers inaugural challenge, and the reward is a medal, which I got to see them, the mock-up for them, and chef's kiss. They look pretty awesome. But really what we're doing here is trying to help you train smart. Now, you can not listen, or you can move things all around to make it, kind of fit in your schedule. But you have to be careful, because the basics, if done well, yield success, and it ensures that you're training smarter, not harder, as Matt says, right? So our year in review is, we train for a half marathon. We've focused on 5K work, 10K work, back to a half marathon, and then back to shorter stuff. This program was geared more towards 5K. And so, it's really important for us to expose you to a plethora, like a spectrum of events and different types of workouts. Some of the challenges we did were, rinse and we kind of repeated a pattern, but we either lengthened the volume, and we played around with some of the density of the training. All right. Density is frequency, volume, and intensity all combined. So we played around with that. But when we repeated things from week 1, 2, 3, 4, we were trying to get you to learn how to execute it. And if you have multiple opportunities at it, you can really learn it. The past 2 challenges, we focus really more on variety, right? Mixing it up, and not to confuse you, but to kind of keep it a little bit more engaging, if you will, right? And you have to be careful with that, because the more random it is, the more different it is, the more you're exercising, and the further you're getting away from training. And with our team challenges, with our run challenge and cycling challenges, we really focus on making sure that we're taking concepts of training and kind of embedding them in. So it might seem a little too simple, but that's really the foundational pieces of what we're trying to do here, in our club coaching and in our one-on-one coaching, which we've had a ton of success with. So the one-on-one coaching really is set up so that we can make it work for your schedule and make things work based on your interests and your pieces of equipment and all that stuff. All right. But yeah, year in review. It was an awesome year, and I'm, really happy to have had the opportunity to do this all with you. All right. So let's get into week number 6. And so week number 6, what's going on? All right. So this is the last week of the block. Again, I kept it very simple with during the week for easy and moderate training plans. It was 30 minutes during the week, and a little bit longer on the weekend. And then for difficult, it was 45 minutes, just to make it approachable. So this week we have quarter repeats, which is just an extension of speed play, minute on, minute off. Last week, or this current week, you had ladder down, right? So longer intervals, and then a little shorter, a little shorter, a little shorter. All right. So that you can get faster and faster. So remember, VO2 max, quarter repeats, it's about the velocity. So I'd rather you run all of them consistently fast than to run some really slow and some really fast, or start off really fast and then get slower and slower. So pace yourself, follow the pacing strategy at this point. It's not the opportunity to really bury it, because you want to save it for the 20-minute test. On Wednesday, we have over-unders. All right. That's where I'm trying to make it a little less difficult, something easy, small bites, so that we're absorbing all the training for the week and the training block, and that we're ready to test on Saturday. Saturday, I put in the 20-minute test, which you should do. And I put in a long run for those who did not want to test. But really recommend testing at this point, especially if you didn't test at the beginning. All right. If you have been doing several challenges and you didn't test at the beginning, test now, see where you're at. You might be surprised, or you'll have accurate, paces for the next series of challenges that are to come. All right. Or if you're jumping into Club Wilpers, we'll have more accurate paces to, coach you with, which is super important. All right. Um, and so the big thing on this week, again, it's unloading week, but it's the key event, the key thing that we're training for. So when we're doing club coaching or club Wilpers and one-on-one coaching, we're trying to progressively overload and then back off a little bit and then compete or do our event. All right. Or challenge ourselves with some kind of assessment. All right. And the simple things that people get wrong here is that you're feeling really good and you push it before the event or um, a race or assessment comes or challenge end, right? So really follow the paces and save a little money in the bank to spend on the 20-minute test. Now, I put in pacing and everything there. It's a suggestion, all right? But the shorter the event, the more of a warm-up you need. All right. Some people get worried that they're going to tire yourself out. And if you've been doing all the training as prescribed, I can promise you're not going to tire yourself out. 20-minute test, again, I'll just say you need to focus on, like I say, like start at threshold and then, for the first like quarter of it and then kind of go from there. The ideal way to do it is just kind of get into it and hang on for dear life. And then maybe you fade just a little bit at the end, but we don't want to go in easy and then really, pick it up because, these are outliers and the average ends up being, not super accurate. All right. So give it a go. All the training has set you up to be able to handle the intensity over time. All right. So also, if you test it in the beginning of the plan, you can kind of maybe start roughly around maybe like 5 or 10 seconds a mile, or 3 or 5 seconds a kilometer off what you tested last time for a start. All right. And that puts you in the right ballpark. Okay. But thank you for joining us on all the challenges this year for those who joined the Team Wilpers Majors Run Challenge. And thank you for those who stuck along with us for this holiday challenge. It's really difficult to kind of stay in a rhythm here. That's why we kept it short and sweet. But make sure you check out Club Wilpers. If you have questions, go to the Facebook Team Wilpers Running page where you can ask questions there and get some things answered. They're going to be a little bit more generic. We have consultations where we can get really specific onto what's going on there and answer your questions, all our coaches. And then we have one-on-one coaching if you really want to take it to the next level. And it doesn't mean you have to be, trying to qualify for Boston or something like that. Like we have a wide range of athletes across a lot of different events and a lot of different personalities from our coaches, right? So we have someone for you, but it's mostly that you don't want to waste time or money by, how do I say it? By learning the hard way. All right. So a lot of the tricks and all the experience and wisdom that us coaches have here at Team Wilpers, we can save you a lot of time and help you be successful on your journey and fulfilling your goals. So anyway, I wish everyone a happy holidays and we'll catch you at the next challenge. All right. See you later. Bye.